Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Allycat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, a connect is on an epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the link-a-doos are under this video. If you would like an energy exchange, pyramids, and skulls with gems in them. I have heart frames. Oh, look, sneak peek, all the pyramids behind me and some artwork. Go check out my website, AlyCatCreations211.com is where you can see my portfolio, and all the things are there for you to discover. Lots of different tabs. Like the main page isn't just the only thing there. And if you're interested in anything, please email me because I do everything privately. There's lots of reasons for that. Work was swell today. Way better, free flowing. Lots of things coming to the front. At the moment, there is a very heavy thunderstorm happening here, so I am praying I do not lose power as Odin and Freya are on the beanbag, huddled together because of the crackling of Thor's hammer. So hopefully I don't lose power. Right. Today we're going to do the message of Aquaria, the vain show. This should be very interesting. I mean, like I say almost every reading, their work is incredible. Love it. Let's see what they have to tell us. I might have to increase this. I definitely, as of like September 1st, will have some health insurance. I don't know what that looks like yet. But I might have vision. I need to get some glasses. At least to read, because Allison can't see shit. All I could see, it's also every time I have a power outage, my lights. There we go. That's a little better. Sorry, my lighting is not going to be perfect, but I want to be able to not be distracted. Hang on. Okay. Quote, surely every man walketh in a vain shrew. Surely they are disquieted in vain. He heaped up riches and knoweth not who shall gather them. End quote. Psalms. Quote, vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Hang on. I'm just gonna press it and we're gonna just go with it. Ecclesiastes. There we go. Because me and pronunciations. Quote, behold, let's redo that. Quote, beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. End quote, John 1, or 1 John 3. See, my dyslexia has been really bad the last few days. Quote, as for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. End quote, Psalms. The above texts seemingly contain two conflicting ideas, and yet we find in them a true picture of life and evolution, for each soul evolves through the periods of time and through the experiences expressed by both ideas. Let us consider the word vanity and analyze its meaning from a deeper and more inclusive point of view than the superficial one generally accepted. Vanity is not merely shallow pride, frivolity, ambitious display, something ephemeral, something that belongs to the surface of life that does not go deep or tough on realities of life. But vanity in reality is everything that is in vain, that hinders instead of hastens on the true purpose of life. It is everything that helps to make the black shadow of personality throw its darkened length between the soul's eye and the divine likeness of God, to which we must ultimately awaken. For to unfold that likeness in the flesh is the aim of evolution. From this standpoint, how many things of this life over which we are disquieting ourselves are in vain? Indeed, we have but to look with the eye of the soul at our daily lives to realize that we are walking largely in a vain show. We strive to make an ambitious display of outer things, heaping up riches that we may enhance the show, yet in the very struggle to obtain them, we are losing much that makes life worth living, and are forgetting why we are passing through the expression of life in a physical embodiment in a physical world. We are not told that riches in themselves are the vain thing, for like the physical body and its functions, wealth is necessary and holds great lessons for humanity. And only when it ceases to lend its glamour to the vain show of selfishness and ostentation, we learn to see in it a gift of God, a talent which we must not bury in a napkin, but use for humanity to help all of God's children, and the cosmos itself. To unfold the true likeness of God, only then will it cease to be vanity. He, quote, he heapeth up riches and knoweth not who shall gather them, end quote. We should realize that in the very stirring and striving, thus to heap up worldly possessions against a rainy day, old age and death, we are planting in our consciousness and in the race the seeds of death, and are fulfilling the scriptural statement that, quote, by men came death into the world, end quote. We assure ourselves that wealth is a good thing, and that if we should pass away as pass, we all must, someone will get the benefit and all will be well, quite forgetting that all wealth, be it money, possessions, positions, or power, or any other thing in this vain show for which we toil and disquiet ourselves to obtain, is impregnated with the seed thought by which it was obtained. Hence it will go on and on, perpetuating that thought in a vain show and enslaving the race more and more. Yet, since all things in our present stage of evolution are things which, like the tree in the midst of the garden, are pleasant to the eyes and to be desired to make one wise, and since we believe in the unceasing care and all-power love of the divine Christ, that any perish, we must also believe that these gifts of God were not given to us to tempt us, that we were not sent into this far country of physical embodiment and surrounded by temptations which seem almost too great to be resisted as a punishment, but rather that we were sent here as ambassadors of divine grace, truth, with all the faculties and equipment necessary to perform a mission for our King, namely to use all the resources of this far country, not only to unfold in it the likeness of our Heavenly Father, but also to uplift the very substance of the planet itself and awaken in them their divine patterns, and to use all the riches thereof to survival to the survival ends for which they were destined. Pause here. I talk about this 9 times out of 10 in half my videos. Holy shit. Recently, though, Spirit channeled through me to tell me that for the life of me, I just want to be content. I want to be able to cover my bills each and every month. I don't want to have to eat once a day, even though that's working very well with me right now, right? Like you could go back 2 years ago and look at my videos. I was emaciated. I was disgustingly thin. I wasn't happy. You could hear it, feel it, and sense it out of my body. Okay. We have to be in this matrix, right? But are you going about your day happy? Are you going about what you're doing in enjoyment and to your highest excitement, as Bashar would say? When we are going through the perpetual cycle, we're supposed to break cycles. Us black sheep. Hi, friends. Hi, everybody. All the people that watch me. Hi, that's you. You're the one breaking this curse, this perpetuating shit show, right? Look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't leave things for people, right? You want to leave the world a better place, but we're not doing a great job right now of doing that. But look at it in a smaller sense. You work really hard your whole life and you leave your assets to your beneficiaries. Okay. Everything is for others, which is great. But in the meantime, what are you accumulating in your life that actually holds substance? Do you really need the mansion? Do you really need the keeping up with the Joneses? Do you need, and not to say that you shouldn't have these things. I know plenty of people with them, and they're beautiful people. But is it out of vanity? When I hit my bad 2 years ago downfall, like free falling into hell, all the people that lived in mansions with 5 cars, beautiful homes, not one of them reached into their pocket to feed me. It was people on welfare and food stamps who helped me out more than anybody else because they knew exactly what I was going through. They felt it. They knew it. They're like, holy crap, girl, look how thin you got. Right? So with this statement being said, what I've been getting channeled is that the real fear, the fear that everybody is having is physical death. You don't die. We're very attached to this meat suit. We are, even though it causes us lots of pain and suffering, right? And physical discomfort. We are very highly, as a society, as a humanity, very attached to this concept of your body. And because you're not looking and expanding beyond your one body, because you have many bodies and you're multi-dimensional, interdimensional, the whole 9 yards. It's just a body. You're not dead. Your physical body dies. And in your earthly life, what are you trying to achieve? Are you just recreating the hamster wheel, looking for a new world and a new earth and a new this and a new that, but you're still keeping on the old paradigm? This is the part of Nasera Jacera I can't stand. We're supposed to be creating a new world, but yet we're bringing the old world ideas with us, and that's money and vanity. Keeping up with the Joneses, because I have to have that Porsche in my driveway. I have to have this and that. I have to have that and this and whatever. Can't you just be happy and doing your highest excitement and being thrilled? We're all going to have to work. I'm back in the matrix. I came back because that's my mission. I'm back in the matrix because that is my absolute one of my highest missions here as a light worker, source seed, whatever you want to label me as. I came here to be a game changer in a place that seems very much like it was when I left New York, out of just feeling the vibes in the place. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those kids are the one that need me, not the adults. And I can tell you right now, a lot of them are upgraded, and I'm so fucking excited about that. It is beautiful. I love walking in the hallway and feeling the energy of the kids. I feel like I'm amongst my own kind, and it's great. I'm the one anchoring the energy, though. We have to remember, I don't need to make $1 million. People are probably going to be like, why are you working that kind of job? It doesn't make much. And it's a lot of work and it's an exhausting job. But that's not the meaning of why I got what am I doing in my purpose in my life is on a spiritual level, not on a financial level. Never has been. I'm here to touch the lives of people, not to become a millionaire. That's not going to be the case. That's not what I want to strive for. I just want to strive to be able to pay my bills and be content and take care of my babies. If a family comes into my life, great. If not, great. I still have to live my life. I don't fear death. I don't need fanciful things to be happy. I don't need windfalls of money. Yeah, would that be great? Sure. Right? But money comes and goes in a snapshot. It doesn't last. It's there when you have it, great, and when you don't have it, it is what it is. Stressful. But just understand that we came here. We were sent here as ambassadors of divine grace. Yeah, times have changed since this time that this was written. Yeah, absolutely. But we can't give up on the mission in itself. That we are here to spread the light and to anchor it. That doesn't require any kind of money, financial stuff. We're looking appropriate. Like you don't need the $1,000 bohemian dress with feathers and a million gems on you to do your job. You don't need any of that. You just need to be present in your frequency. Are you doing that? When we realize this great mission, we no longer heap up riches for self and know not who shall gather them, but we will gladly receive all the Father gives us and use it for the awakening to a new and better day of manifestation or dispensation. Then we will know who shall gather all the treasures of earth, all the gifts of the Father, the angels who are reapers, for they will gather them as gold grain and sow them abroad in the soul of earth conditions, where they shall bring forth for all humanity 100-fold in blessings to the race. Doesn't talk about $1 million check. Doesn't talk about gold or silver. Does not talk about the earthly 3D illusionary things that we live by and are bound by because we chose such shit. Do we see why I'm very not with this? Like I said, I'm reading this, guys, with you. I've been mentioning this for about a year. like outwardly, not, I've been feeling this way for a long time. But the more and more that I am seeing the bigger picture, we all talk fanciful. New Earth, and yay, we're moving on up. We're going to 5D. Everything has still money. No, that's an old fucking paradigm. Drop the shit. We're still in 4. We're bound. Some of us are bouncing 3, 4. We still have to play our 3D contracts. So therefore, we still have to play by the paradigm rules of 3D. But that doesn't mean that you can't mature your definition of what being happy and having abundance is. Because having abundance and knowing and having your faith in God, the infinite intelligence, the all that is, will always provide for you. The tests are very fucking hard. They're not easy to traverse because many of us are not on 3D level testing anymore. We're already up here. We're in our master's doctorate time. Okay? Not everything is going to come the way you think it is. And we all want security. That's what we've been programmed to be fed. I get it. You know, I want the same for like everybody else. I want security. I want to know that I will be taken care of when I get older and I'll have to work until I'm 90. But in the meantime, you've got to be honored. You got to be humbled by the things and the beauty that you receive in this world. And I don't need to receive a check in the mail via government to be happy. I do what makes me happy on a daily basis. I have 2 cats that put a smile on my face, that brings so much joy to my face. Even when Morgan and Ethan were alive, they brought so much joy to me. Now that I'm back at work and I'm back in my element of what I actually physically need to be doing, because I'm a very physical healer. I have to be around people and touch things that's why my pyramids, a lot of people tell me a lot of energy comes out of it because I'm touching everything. I'm blessing, I'm cleansing, I'm doing a lot of things before this even goes into epoxy. And I don't do my work when I'm chaotic. My energy is scattered because I don't want anybody's pyramid to have that kind of energy built in to the gems. There's so much. I'm getting channeled very hard right now, so I do apologize. Back to the book. The more fully we digest and express this thought, that every form of wealth is a power or talent entrusted to us, not only to help us do our bit, but also to help in the great work of uplifting the world and prove our ability thus to use it, the more we be entrusted to use thus to use. But if we strive to hoard up for our own vanity that which the great law brings to us to use, for remember, all is vanity and vexation of spirit, the less we will have in the end, although for a season we may have much, but with it increasing vexation of spirit. And this law will be increasingly manifest more and more on earth in this new cycle. Indeed, we have seen today many of the hoards of wealth which have been heaped up in selfishness and vain show, even now in the very beginning of the end of the old dispensation, being either swept away by the exeneges, I can't get that word out, of war, or being at least temporarily taken over and administered by governmental commissions. And this will continue in one way or another until a means is found by which the store up wealth, in spite of man's vain desire, is used to bring about better conditions for humanity and the whole world. And ere the end of this great upheaval and readjustment of conditions, there will be brought about, among many other changes, a much fairer and distribution of wealth and a much more equitable sharing of the products of labor. That is what we are all right in the moment working with. This is what we are most under the undertow of all the other fanciful shit that people spew. This is exactly what humanity is right in the moment now working towards. A fair system, getting us back to our best. We still have to work for it. It's not like you're sitting on your tushy. Unless you are already retired and you already did your work and you did your thing, the rest of us have to put in the effort. Again, the law that like creates like is eternally operative. If we heap up wealth or even disquiet ourselves to skimp and save and devote these best years of our lives to putting away a so-called nest egg for our old age, verily out of that egg will come only that which was put into it, namely vanity. Instead of relying absolutely and confidently in perfect faith and trust upon the great law, we have lived in the vain hope that we shall have at least provided for ourselves no matter what happens. Therefore, that is all we will have to rely upon and all we have a right to expect in a time of need. I'm going to pause here for another time. I'm going to tell you guys personally, I've seen this. My father, my adoptive father, worked his fucking ass off, right? I came into the scene. My dad was working day school, night school, and summer school. My dad was a math teacher and for high school. I barely saw my dad growing up. Yes, my dad helped me go to college. I still had to pay half of it. That's a lot. If anybody knows how much SVA costs, yeah, my dad helped, my parents helped, but I had to pay the rest. Right? Allison, why are you so broke all the time? Well, I'm kind of paying my degree off. Hi. My dad died at 58 years old. He saved his whole fucking life not ever to see a day to enjoy it. Tomorrow is never promised. I am thankful and blessed beyond means that my parents basically worked their butts off so that I can enjoy what they weren't able to. That's why moving for me was extremely traumatic and very painful because I had to give up their legacy to start my own. And that was very difficult. They worked their whole lives for my dad to like take the shitter early, never to enjoy a damn thing he worked for because he worked all the time and he barely ever got to enjoy the fruits of his labor. I am thankful that I am carrying out his legacy, but it really eats at me. And if I feel terrible that my dad had to go in that manner and never enjoy what he worked really hard for. So what is the lesson in this? Have faith in the freaking universe. Like I'm 41 and going back to my, it's the second career, but it's in a new place. So I have to restart everything I earned and worked really hard for 8 years, all down the toilet. Here again, I'm at zero. Here again, I'm starting at zero. 2 years later, at zero. But you know what? I have faith in God and the universe and the source of all things. And I have faith in myself that I will see this storm very, very through and things will be great. I have faith. I've always kept faith. That's what keeps me going. That what keeps me motivated each and every day. We all have a story. And I know many of you out there have a parent or a family member who died young, worked their butts off, and never got to see their fruits of their labor or enjoyed any of it. So what this is trying to like tell you is to live and have fun and experience life. I know so many people out there who are taking care of their grandbabies. You know what's really sad? I'm very thankful that my mom, because of my dad working, my mom was home with me until I was at an age where she can actually trust me to come home on my own. And she went back to work, but my mom raised me. I'm very blessed. So many kids, so many people that watch me, their parents raised them. One parent usually went to work, or one did, their own thing, but this is where a lot of why I didn't have a child as much as I really wanted one my whole life. I wanted to have a family, but in this kind of world right now, I wasn't meant to have one. No way. No way. My job is to protect them, and that I shall do. But this this is spot on with everything that I say. The very stimulus to such hoarding is the thought that we both fear and expect some dire thing to happen. Also, since our mind is all the time fixed upon oncoming old age and incapacity to take care of ourselves, we are planting a seed thought which is sure to grow and bear fruit, so that when old age comes, we will either be unable to take care of ourselves, or we'll have to exit on pittance we have saved up for that time. For in the saving and skimping, we had smothered out much of the beauty and expression of love and enjoyment in life. Hence, have estranged our friends. We have so feared poverty that this fear has been built into our flesh and the deep lines of care and anxiety. This is the truth. There are many people who are in poverty that live their best lives because they're happy. They don't need crazy expensive things to make them happy. The littlest things out in the free world make them happy to their highest excitement. If we let go and just have what it is for us to keep ourselves going each day, that fills our cup, and you have something extra, that's all that matters. Are you taking care of yourself? And are you able to not hoard everything? The best people out there are the ones who are the givers. I know whenever I go through a cleanse in the house, when my parents passed away and right before I moved, instead of gaining money, because I really definitely absolutely needed it at the time, but I gave an $800 china set to somebody because they were eating off of napkins. I absolutely couldn't take any money from them. Somebody said, I don't think I can afford any of this. Here, have it for free. Do you know how much I donated freely to people in need? Too much to count. When we detach emotionally from things and give what we can away to help other people, there's no other feeling for it. And it's not to put it's not to put you up on a podium. It's doing the right thing by humanity and by other human beings. You got to do what you have at your disposal. Amish mindset. Amish mindset. Energy of your finger doing a click doesn't expend much energy. Going to work and making money and helping somebody out financially, that's a little bit more on the energetic scale. Instead of having things accumulate, like, you know how many people get gift cards that they never use and just sit there? Well, why don't you donate them to people that might be able to use them? I know when I had it, I gave freely, a little too much, but I'm happy that I was able to help some people out that really were in a bind. You do when you have it. I always do when I have it. And when I have access, I'm calling the next, I don't know what they have here in Indiana, but in New York, I called a bunch of organizations and they were happy to take all the stuff that I couldn't sell and I couldn't use. And other people are enjoying them right now. So tomorrow is never promised. You wake up and anything could possibly happen. The meaning to life is enjoying yourself and going out and being happy and manifesting a new world that doesn't need $1 million to do that. Sure, will it feel better? Great. Yeah, in the moment to your ego. Maybe not. I don't know. If we have not laid up a store of love, sympathy, and companionship for our fellow men, we should not be surprised in our old age to find that none of these things manifest to us. For it is our selfish saving up. We have ignored the rights or needs of others. Others will be apt to ignore us and our needs at a time when we will need their sympathy most, or they will expect to be paid for everything they do for us. On the other hand, we should recognize that all that is given us is a sacred trust to be used wisely. Hence, we should not, as is so often done, turn over all our possessions to our children or to someone who we think will use it as we desire, saying, "The Lord will provide for me in my declining days." For the very fact of such unwisdom calls for a lesson, even to the most loving soul. Hence, we may find ingratitude where we expected love, and find at most a forced doodling out of the necessities of life and grinding surveillance most difficult to bear. We must learn to use wisely all that is entrusted to us, and as we prove our wisdom in so doing it, more will be entrusted to us to administer. The fairy tale of magic purse will, like the widow's curse of oil, was always replenished no matter how much was drawn from it, illustrates a vital truth. Even the money we may accumulate may be swept away, for the bank may fail, the stock go down, the property burn up, the land be inundated or lost through some flaw in the title. Lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. On the other hand, if we see in wealth only a means to an end, only a book out of which we may learn great soul lessons, and use it as it comes, not foolishly or in self-indulgence or for vanity or in vain, but with love and wisdom for the better unfoldment of God's likeness in ourselves and in the world, then the supply is not limited to what we can hoard, but it is exhaustless. We have trapped the wellspring of an inexhaustible supply. We are working with the law, becoming channels through which it can express for greater good. And as soon as the phase of law, the right use of wealth, has been fulfilled and the lesson learned by the race, there will no longer be any use for money. Hence, we will pass on to other lessons to be learned through other channels. Boom! Mic drop, Allison's on it. How the F did they know all the way back then that we got a huge effing lesson to learn? And Sarah's a test. Sorry, not sorry. All these dinar and dong and all these currencies that everybody buys. How do you actually know that they're not going to fault on that currency and use something else, and what you bought is now shit? Sorry. Not sorry. Same thing with currency. I know a lot of channelers, I should say better, channelers who talk about crypto and who talk about this and that, and you should get XRP and Stellar and Lobster and blah 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 blah. I know I'm animated, sorry. Why are they telling you that? What paradigm are they living in? And I'm not trying to call out and disrespect others in a way, but I'm trying to wake up. That just said everything that I say. We need to play out the game. We need income of some sort. There's no doubt about that. That's not being unrealistic. What is unrealistic is how many people stop their lives thinking that it was going to happen any moment. And then as the years roll by, still waiting. Will there be a payday? Perhaps. Will there is a possibility, potentiality, vortices that it doesn't? Absolutely. Do you see the test? Because people are still hoarding their shit, as many of us are suffering. It's no fault to many of us. Like I said, I lost it all when I made a choice and my body made it for me. And I had to move and I had to make a decision. And I can't put a gun to someone's head to say, hire me. Finally got hired, finally got a job. Still don't know how much I'm getting paid, but at this point, it doesn't matter. I have faith in the universe that what I am doing is a higher calling. That was my mission. That's all that's the most important to me in my heart space. As long as I have something coming in, because at points in time, I had nothing. And everybody, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, hold your roll. I had to live off of credit cards for 2 years. Those never got wiped. Those have to get paid. I wouldn't have been able to buy my house. I had debt, not just my debt, my mom's debt. I had to pay. Funeral. Had to pay. Improvements on the house. Things break. Things cost a lot of money to fix. Money isn't infinite. We make it that way, but it really isn't. I'm very happy right now that I'm starting to work, and I mean, I've been working. This is like a job for me. I'm happy to do this. This is another mission of mine, but it doesn't make me anything. And maybe it will one day. But it's just something to keep myself with the lights on. Things are expensive, inflation is real, but I didn't hoard what I had. I dispersed it where it needed to go. There are people sitting that make a megaton, or are they helping people? You know, a lot of people sit back and they get their retirement, they get this, they get that. Boggles my mind. I'm not talking about the people that I know. I know a lot of people, but I see it. I've lived it. I've watched it. And I'm seeing a big vital mistake humanity is making. Someday each soul will awaken to its true mission on earth, and many of us have already done that. And when the awakening comes, it will find in itself the likeness of God. Then, as it begins to strive to unfold this likeness, it will impress the likeness so strongly upon the thought forces of the race that more and more souls will rapidly awaken until the morning of a new era dawns for all humanity, and the soul of humanity finds itself and manifests the true likeness of divinity. Goals here. That's the goal. That's what we're all doing right now. What are we to understand when we say, I shall be satisfied when I awake in thy likeness? Alas, that the orthodox teachings have for centuries conveyed the idea that this awakening could only come after the sleep called death. If this were all, then it has been proved false, for it has been scientifically proved, as we taught by the mystics of all ages, that after the change called death, we awaken in the likeness of the personality we developed or unfolded while on earth, and not in the likeness of the divine self. We may see a little more clearly the vanity of it all, and suffer because we have walked so many years in a vain show, and may gain vivid conceptions of life, which shall be impressed upon us so strongly that they will manifest in our next life as a result of our repentance. But the mere passing from one phase of life to a still more vivid phase, not of death, but life, will not unfold in a newness, a new likeness. We must awaken here and now, and then strive with our powers truly to unfold the divine likeness to whose presence within us we have awakened. The divine likeness, how shall we manifest it? We go on perfecting our physical bodies, seeking to unfold a godlike structure and mighty intellect and psychic powers. But even after this is accomplished, how dare we say of even the perfect body, this is God likeness? This is my highest ideal of God, the unknowable, the omnipotent, from everlasting to everlasting, that I am. For if we leave out our spiritual unfoldment, realization, and manifestation, we must answer with the preacher, the great power back of all evolution, that which is forever preaching and teaching the human heart through experience and intuitive perception of the divine, that is all vanity. For no matter how perfectly we have developed our body, our intellect, or even our psychic powers, if we have failed to unfold and manifest our spiritual nature, we have lived in vain. Our first step in this unfoldment is a realization of the disquieting and unsatisfying result of this living in a vain show. We must strive for a deep realization of the power of the likeness of God that is striving to manifest within us. This is not a mere picture of the Almighty seen as though through a telescope reversed, or as the sunlight is reflected on the waves of the sea. It is far more than this. It is an essential likeness that the attributes of divinity are striving for expression through us. It is a struggle for manifestation of the image projected from the consciousness of God when we were sent forth on our cycle of evolution, destined to unfold the perfect pattern and fill a certain place in the grand plan, a place which, if left unfilled, would leave the plan imperfect, a place which no other soul in the universe can perfectly fill. It would be as though a great artist had painted a masterpiece with every figure, line, and shading perfect, save one, which was left false, imperfect, or out of proportion, or like a grand symphony in which one bar was discordant. Ooh. Our first step in this unfoldment is a realization of the disquieting and unsatisfying result of this living in a vain show. Then we must strive for a deep realization of the power of the likeness of God that is striving to manifest within us. This is not a mere picture of the Almighty seen as though through a telescope reversed, or as the sunlight is reflected on the waves of the sea. It is far more than this. It is an essential likeness in the attributes of divinity, striving for expression through us. It is the struggle for manifestation of the image projected from the consciousness of God when we were sent forth in this cycle. I know I'm rereading this because I want to instill this in everyone. Of evolution, destined to unfold the perfect pattern and fill a certain place in the grand plan. Where we go one, we go all. The all. There is no other or other selves, the ones that we reject. We don't like. We wanted wood chippers. We don't like them. They're horrible people. They're coming with us. They're a part of the damn fucking picture. They play a role like we play a role. They're coming with. Accept it. That's your other self. That is your part of you. That's that, in essence. What you deject in this world is just a mirror image of you, of a part of you that you can't confront because it's triggering. When you can look evil in its face and send it love and light and be like, okay, yeah, that's a part of me. I am that bitch. I can be that blunt person. You just owned your shadow. Everybody playing a role outside of you, who you want to wood chippers, are aspects of you. You just haven't felt it or dealt with it yet. Lots of work. Lots of shadow work. The more and more people are stopping listening to hate. When we can objectively look at these people and the roles that they're playing, that God is playing through them, and understand, yeah, I don't condone that crap. Whatever they're doing that is ruining this planet, I don't condone it, but I'm not feeding it energy to manifest anymore. I'm not projecting my words in a way anymore because I did it. I was about the hate train. I was about this one side and not that side. But divine neutrality pushed me into looking in deeper in introspection, dealing with the unhealed portions of my soul that still needed to get healed. Didn't know it, but I'm also incorporating all the other selves and healing them too and transmuting the energy, and it's a forever cycle. But I made way much progress and I opened up for the new me. I let go and shed the old me, that old paradigm me, gone, bye. That is just telling you right there where we go when we go all. And stop the vain fucking crap. Sorry for my profanity. The image of God is not an outward resemblance, but a shining forth of the perfect ideal which we were intended to express. A tree grows in the image of God as it manifests the ideal of that tree God intended it to express. When it is a perfect as the kind of tree it could be, God's image includes a perfect universe with everything in it perfect after its kind, hence all reflecting and outpicturing God or made in God's image. All of it. The Draco, the UFOs, the demons is all us manifesting it out of our imagination, because your thoughts create things. So when you stop feeding energy to the shit show, it kind of escapes and goes away out of your life. You have to have faith in source. To manifest this likeness, we must put away the vanities of life, and all things are in vain which do not contribute first to the unfolding within our hearts, and then to the manifesting in our lives of the attributes of divinity, the likeness which we each individually are destined to unfold, knowing well that the moment we manifest a perfected likeness, the great law will place us in our true position in the cosmic picture. And here many of us are now walking into that perfection. We are want to call men and women vain when they are overwhelmingly in love with themselves. We are wont to confine the term vanity to an admiration of personality, of personal qualities, or physical possessions. We say she is vain of her looks, he is vain of his intellect, she is vain of her unfolding psychic powers, he is vain of his struggle to overcome his defects, or both are disquieting themselves because the world fails to appreciate them at their own valuation, or because others seem to obtain spiritually who do not make half the struggle. But just go on growing as the flower grows, trusting and loving and living and doing for others instead of disquieting themselves with outer practices such as fastings, refusal to eat certain foods, breathing exercises, and various yoga practices. But this is not its full meaning. We can give no technical direction here how to behold the face in righteousness. The face being the manifestation of the likeness that is expressed in the world, but we are assured that the likeness of God within us, the image he intended us to manifest, and that if we meditate upon and dwell in the consciousness of the divine that is within us, the image we are destined to unfold will gradually open in our lives like the petals of a rose and radiate the perfume of his presence. It makes no difference what we have been in the past. This is true. Today, we are the synthesized embodiment of all that we have ever been. Even our mistakes and failures and the suffering they have entailed and the struggle to overcome them have all had their part to play in our unfoldment. Hence, are registered in the composite picture we today mark the degree to which the likeness has been unfolded. That likeness has unfolded just to the extent that we do or do not walk in the vain show of the outer life, or of the mere psychic obtainments without corresponding spiritually. Many in various lives have held high positions in society, yet in this incarnation find themselves in obscurity and often poverty, while they still feel stirring within them all the tendencies and ambitions and desire for recognition as of old. They spend much time disquieting themselves and bemoaning a sad fate that has given them the almost irresistible desire for worldly grandeur and adulteration, yet which has placed them in such humble position that their desires cannot be gratified. All this is but the mathematical and inevitable result of the vain show in the past. We are placed in our present positions in life, not by an arbitrary fate or by a jealous or vengeful deity, as so frequently allegorically pictured in the Bible, but by the degree of our own unfoldment, by the causes we ourselves set up, because we allowed the vain show of the past to hide from us the likeness of God, the image within, to the realization of which our present positions, perchance, may awaken us. Yet poverty and obscurity have their own vain show, as if their lessons are not learned, just as surely as have pomp and greatness in the world's eye. Only the awakened soul can refuse to walk in the vain show of personality and seek to unfold the divine image of his likeness. Sorry, I had a sneeze there. There are many today, alas, who, because they find that they have developed a very sensitive nature, are disquieting themselves a great deal, either because their sensitiveness is not recognized by others, or because life presents to them so many commonplace problems. One may be very sensitive to sound, yet may be compelled to live and amid the grinding noises of street traffic or the blaring of jazz music from neighboring phonographs. You see how old this is? Others may be sensitive to color and yet be compelled to wear clothing that is not the exact shade they love. All such conditions, however, must be met and overcome. If though and through our higher development, we are made our nerves more sensitive than others, we must remember that with this increased sensitiveness, there should have also come greater power to conquer, greater poise, and a closer touch with the understanding of our great supply. Hence, we should refuse to disquiet ourselves over such vain things, for we know that when we bravely learn our lesson and determine to do the best we can to unfold the divine image within us, our Heavenly Father will bring to us better conditions, for which we will then be ready. But we must do our best to change undesirable conditions, not sit down under them in a negative spirit and wait for a supernatural deliverance. In the late summer, in some localities, we see the hillsides and meadows covered with the bloom of the wild carrot, a common weed, yet a beautiful plant. Its white, lacy flowers beautify the waste places and rejoice the eye. Yet to the farmer, it is but a noxious weed. For before he can properly till the soil, he must eradicate its long, tough roots, so hard and woody, so tenacious, and would so deplete the soil of its nutriment, yet which are so devoid of nourishment in themselves, many lands being even poisonous. But this same wild carrot, after a few generations of cultivation, corresponding to a number of incarnations, can be completely changed and its true image expressed. What is the result of this culmination? No more beautiful flowers, no more attractive spreading stalks nodding in the breeze, no more tough gnarled root, but instead a large and succulent root, something that is of value instead of a nuisance, something that affords both food and medicine for man and beast. And within this common vegetable, there are even greater possibilities. For carrots, as their color indicates to the occultists, contain substances which penetrate into the innermost tissues of man's body, helping to supply the vital force which knits together his finer bodies, and nourishing those faculties which shall help him to unfold the image of God more perfectly, such as will, persistence, and tenacity of purpose. Everything we eat or drink not only nourishes our physical body, but also our finer bodies by imparting to them the finer essences which the food has developed and made its own during its period of cultivation or its long cycle of unfolding its true image of God and contributing its force to the manifestation of a more perfect universe. It is the same plant but what a difference in manifestation. Yet in its uncultivated state, as the carrot grows in the wild places, it not only helps to loosen the soil and add to its humus, but it also beautifies the landscape. For every blossom is a flower when it is right place, but a weed when it is in the wrong place. Thus, it is often with the undeveloped soul. It has its part to play in the world, to bloom in gladness and freedom in its own place, where it will be a beautiful flower. But if it tries to manifest where it does not belong, it is but a weed. But when it has grown in proper place and developed a succulent, nourishing root, it must begin to feed the world and bring it the help needed to unfold the image of God. Therefore, even the wild blossoms covering an uncultivated field is not a vain show, but are calling to man to do his part as faithfully as they do theirs. The history of the wild carrot is the history of self. In the course of evolution, there are 3 lines of unfoldment, each evolving toward its own perfection. Yet each of these threads of destiny must be interblended like a cord made up of 3 strands. The cord is strong and durable in proportion to the smooth and even blending of the strands. Even so, must the self evolve and blend into 3 strands or avenues of manifestation: the physical body, the mind, including the psychic and mental bodies, and spirit. And according to the individual trend, or let us say individual variation in the likeness of God, breathed into each self as it was sent forth into this far country of earth life, do we unfold more rapidly and easily one or the other of the 3 threads. Many obtain great perfection of bodily development, strength, and beauty, or great development of intellect and power of mind. Such are placed in positions in life which their physical and mental perfections find recognition and emphasis, but without a corresponding spiritual unfoldment. Like the wild carrot, they flaunt their blossoms to the wind. They attract attention, are admired, and become great in the world's estimation. But the roots of their lives are gnarled, tough, woody, devoid of spiritual nourishment. Then come many lives of pruning and cultivation. Life after life, the beautiful flowers of outer obtainments that have attracted and pleased the eye of the superficial observer, for the wild carrot is without perfume and has an acrid odor, which causes it to be rejected by those who give it more than superficial attention. All these flowers have to be cut away, so that life force, which formerly expended itself in outer show, is forced to manifest beneath the surface, making the carrot grow and develop under the ground. The result is for the self, as well as for the carrot, that its roots become succulent, wholesome, and nutritious. We are then developing our inner possibilities and will therefore be able to feed humanity. Some may ask, has this then a common garden vegetable, the likeness of God within? We answer that it is and has its aspect of that likeness, and it has taken its second step toward its unfoldment. Its third step will be obtained when there has been developed within the substance which nourish men's finer bodies in a great abundance, and to as a degree as is present nourishing qualities excel those of the wild root. In like manner, the self developed in its higher and finer possibilities to awaken, then in his likeliness we must correlate body, mind, and spirit, for to manifest the image of the triune God, the three must become one. We know not what we shall be, but we shall be satisfied when we awaken his likeness. We can only go on doing the duty that lies nearest, unfolding those buds of our nature, which the great gardener has not pruned away, but they above ground as leaves, stems, or blossoms in the world's eye, or underground in the obscurity as inner and spiritual qualities, which shall make our roots succulent and nourishing to mankind. Only as we take up each task in earnest, weaving the threads of our threefold life into a strong cord that shall bind us to the master soul, can he, our Lord, appear. But to hasten this great day, we can each of us here and now say in sincerity and in truth, ask for me, I will behold the face in righteousness. I will no longer walk in a vain show, for the vanity of vanities is everything that hides from my consciousness the likeness of God that is within me and that is striving for expression. Each one of us is today in the place where the great gardener sees is the best for our development, and where the qualities in which we are lacking are undergoing cultivation. The three fates, Clotho, Leche, whatever that name is, and Atropos, are still spinning a thread of destiny or guiding the evolution of our threefold lives. I would take it to the Norse, the three Norns. Let us rest patiently, then, in the assurance that even though the threads are seemingly tangled in weaving of our spiritual seamless robe, sometimes seems wearisome, yet over, above, and all is a divine law of love, which is ever unfolding within each of us, the likeness of God, which we are destined to express in the threefold perfection. Ooh, goody. Next chapter is Lucifer. I don't know where they're going to go with that one, but we will wait for the next one. But wow, 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 wow. I already ranted a shit ton on this. So I must either be being channeled by one of these people, or they got channeled by the same people that I'm being channeled. This is the stuff a lot of us have been talking about. Go within, please go within. Divine neutrality. There's no right side. There's no right or wrong. It's all an illusion. It's a movie playing out. Everybody's playing roles on God's stage. Actually, under inner and moat that understanding, detach emotionally your feelings, because you have biases and judgments, and all serves a purpose. And when you start feeding your energy in the right places that are for you, holy shit. And for many of us who are walking in divinity right now as our mission, we are the reincarnations or the carnations of higher sourced entities. We're only giving you the words of wisdom. You got to do the work. And this is why a lot of the ancients got String theory. Correct. Because we are all entangled by cords. If we talk about the silver cord and this cord and that cord and doing on knots and cords to other people, because we are entangled to people and other aspects of things. My rant is over. I can go on hours for this. Find the God within. Find the beauty, the intellect. Cultivate your roots. This was incredible. Love it. We are being tested as a humanity right now. And if you don't start seeing it that way, we're going to have a longer time. They don't want me to say it, but we're going to have a longer time to do and to learn until you do. And more of us are finding out that we're looking at the eagle eye view, looking down at the shit show happening on all sides. And I think a lot more people are starting to come into the realization that all is source, all of it has a role and a play that they're playing out. And what you feed is what you get. So what are you attracting? What are you putting in your field? What are you trying to obtain in your life? When you are happy, right? Look, okay. As much as the shit show continues to try to affect my life, I had to go through the dark night of the soul. I had no choice. There was some deep-seated other life, other density, other shit I had to clear. Okay? That's just a lot of us are there, right? But I am walking in my purpose. Nothing is ideal. You make it ideal. You know, but what's more uncomfortable? Not really walking into a place, not knowing anything, just being thrown here, do your job. Well, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to do it? What are the expectations? There is nothing there. There's no guidelines. Just do it. You got to walk it. I've walked it. I'm supposed to service children. I'm supposed to help anchor the light. Help activate. They're already activated, but help get them conscious to their activations. Can't tell you how many kids kept telling me about ghosts, that they're seeing things. Oh, did you see the clown up in there? I'm like, no, okay, but what is showing you as a clown? You're only reflecting what you're only seeing what is in your head. For kids, it's kitty shit. Why are you seeing that? And then I have to sit there and tell them, no, you're not, not with me here. You're safe. Guys, the kids can see a lot because I can see it too. They're not fibbing. I didn't fib as a child. I had to shut down. But you know what? I'm the game changer in that place because they're not being shut down. They're not being told, what are you talking about? That's your imagination. No, that's what they're really seeing. And I'm telling them in a direct, you got to be careful what you say when you're around other people and children, especially that are not yours. Yeah, you are seeing something. You're not nuts. And I got your back. That's my job. And I'm okay with whatever, as long as I'm getting compensated in some way that I can feed myself and pay my bills. I don't care. I don't need $1 million. I need to be content. That's it. What is your role? We have multiple roles. Mine's just focused on kids. It always has been. I had a divine timing and orchestration. And that painful waiting period is still going to continue until I get that first paycheck. But in the meantime, I'm still pushing through each day, and I hope all of you are too. It is not easy outside, but you got to be comfortable within. And I know that I'm walking into my highest excitement. I look forward to my day. I've always looked forward to my day working because I know what I'm doing in a very silent way. What are you doing? Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within. Physically be the shoulder for people. They're going to need it. Be the lighthouse, because you're going to shine your light in the darkest of corners. Seed your truths, because some people, it's going to take a long time for those roots to embed in there and then finally grow a shoot. Thank you, everybody. I really highly appreciate everybody who's been helping, sharing, subscribing, listening to my words, helping me financially, buying pyramids. I thank all of you for all of that. And even if you can't, because you're in the same hole as I am, thank you for your likes and subscribes and shares, because all of it doesn't matter. We're all in it together because we're all one. And when we start taking care of each and every one of our other selves, we shift quicker. And some of us know we're going to stay behind. I am. I'm going to be I'm bypassing a lot, so I'm staying behind, but I'll be waving at you while I go up there. So I'm the cleanup crew. And many of you are too. This is my last go around here. I'm done. And I can't wait to see what comes out of the work that we're all doing. So keep it up. It is exhausting, but we got this, guys. And I hope to see you on the next one, because I can't wait to see what they say about Lucifer. And he'll probably come and channel through me. So guys, have a beautiful and exciting weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.